Chatty, Patty, Paula, Walla, talk show. Hello, hello, hello. It's the Chatty, Patty, Paula, Walla, talk show.
We will talk about the things that mean so much to you, like going to a restaurant or hanging at the zoo. Clothes and sports and funny news, crafts and travel too. Nothing ever scripted, so expect the unexpected.
Hello, hello, hello. It's the Chatty, Patty, Paula, Walla, talk show. It's the Chatty, Patty, Paula, Walla, talk show. It's the Chatty, Patty, Paula, Walla, talk show.
Hi, welcome to our show. It's Thursday, May 2nd, 2024. And our special guest today is a Detroit musician, a songwriter. It's Tony Muggs.
Woo!
Hello.
Dude! We just had a dude conversation.
Do you consider yourself more of a musician or a songwriter?
Well, that's a loaded question, Patty.
I don't know. I'm not.
We're going to argue now.
You know, I have two brains when when I write songs for Dude, I'm using my songwriter brain, and when I'm writing for the Muggs, like when I'm a bass player and for the Hourlies and the Muggs, for instance, I'm trying to cop John Paul Jones, or Paul McCartney or James Jamerson. So there are two sides to my brain that are working constantly, and I'm more concerned with the melody and lyrics. And I'm not concerned with the complicated bass line when I'm writing for Dude, so.
Right, the hooks and
I'm just thinking melody,
chorus
hooks, melody, hooks,
Well, most people know you probably from the Muggs.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell us or explain to everyone about the Dude.
Okay, it's just Dude.
Oh,
Is it just you?
Yeah,
Is it just you?
Well, I'm the songwriter. I come up with all the songs, and my partner in crime is Steven Garcia. We went to high school together, although he graduated like 5 years after me. And we went to Notre Dame High School, and years later, he's been a Caju guy forever, and a fine musician. And the story goes in 2015. He was asking about this first album I wrote, which was I wrote all these songs and kind of compiled them and came out with an album in 2012, my first album called Kid Gloves. And he was asking me, why don't you put a band together and tour or at least play out live? And I didn't have an answer for him, and so I said, well, would you be my guitar player if I put a band together? And he said, absolutely. So that was the impetus for starting Dude Live. So 2015 to current, and now it's just, all hands on deck. I do acoustic Dude with my friend Kristen Von B. I'm not sure if you know her or not.
I know of her, yeah, from Bolero.
She's such a talent. And so we're doing an acoustic thing, but then with the electric band, it's just a revolving carousel of lead guitar players and drummers, but it's pretty much me and Steven are,
Right,
the core
okay, the core.
What
of
can
Dude.
you tell us about this album then?
Well, this album is a Spanish import. When Dude actually had an opportunity to tour in Spain, because the Muggs have been touring in Spain since 2007. And so in 2016 in November, Dude had an opportunity to tour for 3 weeks, and so we did. And so I got really wise to manufacturing T-shirts and vinyl, because all of Europe loves vinyl, right?
Oh, they're collectors.
So in 2013, this is a funny story, the Muggs were touring over there, and Bellyache Records, who was our record label, shipped like 150 albums, and they had it insured overseas. And I don't know, I think we're landing in Madrid. So Customs said, "Oh, you're gonna be selling these." So they slapped us with what came out to be $1,300 USD before we sold one unit.
Oh my God, that's highway robbery.
Oh my
They
God,
didn't throw you in jail.
just
Rude.
Yep.
Did they plant drugs
So
on you too?
we learned that it was better to manufacture them over there.
Oh, gotcha.
So this was manufactured in Spain, and so I took back as many as I could in the suitcase.
Did any
You showed
break?
them.
No, all good. Yep.
So what was it like touring Spain?
Oh, brilliant! I just love, I love Spain so much. If I had the money, I'd buy a home in Spain. That would be my second home. I think the culture is a lot aligned with Detroiters. They work hard, play hard. They love, for some reason, they love their Detroit rock and roll. I mean, it's so good. But they eat well, and they party and they work hard, and it just, I don't know, something is aligned with Spain and Detroit. I can't explain it. But
I have to go
yeah,
there.
Mugs have been touring there since 2007, and we've toured there like with
So you're
Dude
regulars.
with Dude and the Mugs. I've toured there 7 times.
Do a lot of people speak English, or was there a
Oh
language
yeah,
barrier?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
English language is everywhere everywhere else in the world. The English
Yeah.
language, it pays to know English, and it's so funny because I would just butcher their language, and I'd try, but I'd butcher it. And they'd say, "Oh no, my friend, I understand English." In other words,
Yeah, you
stop
just-
butchering my
You
language.
just worked really hard to say one thing. I know I went to Japan, and there, I mean, a lot of people do speak English, but there's a lot that don't. And it gets to where back when I went, we would pass the translator book back and forth.
Okay.
Do you like beer? And it would be just the most basic, stupid conversation. But
Now they have these apps where you can talk into it and show the person what you want, and it's
That's awesome.
translated. Yeah.
oh man,
So technology.
I know.
So you've been opening up and about your personal journey, and you wrote autobiography.
Autobiography. It's
Autobiography.
it's a mouthful. It's kind of like autobiography and
Can you
graffiti.
drink an
and sandwich those together.
martini when you're reading the
Uh-huh.
autobiography?
Oh yeah. Read the book, especially the prologue.
So what inspired you to tell your story in this way?
Well, in the prologue, I just open up with I just felt compelled to document my journey for musicians and stroke survivors and anyone. I guess I'm a little bit of an egoist, and I wanted to get my story out there and let people know. Bottom line, you can suffer greatly, but you can come out of it, all roses. And one of my nicknames is Tony Blue Skies. And, life is what you make it,
Yep.
It's whatever you want it to be.
You're doing it.
If you create misery for yourself, then be miserable. But I tried to create something different, and I drew a line in the sand, and I said, okay, once I got out of the woods, once I got out of the hospital, and I didn't die, and I got
How long ago was this?
2001, September 4th, 2001. So I was completely paralyzed on my right side, and I lost my ability to speak, which is called aphasia. And there are varying degrees of aphasia, but my speech came back progressively over the months.
Thank goodness, right?
But yeah, but my paralysis, I'm still dealing with it. Which is, I used to play bass guitar, and that's why I played the Fender Rhodes piano with my left hand, because this is it, guys.
Did you have to relearn, like?
Yeah,
was
I
it-
taught myself how to play. I had never had piano training before. But, I'm musical, and it's all notes.
Yep,
so
the same notes.
I approach it like I'm still a bass guitar player in my head,
Yeah.
But it's amazing through my journey because I can't play acoustic guitar. I just envy you so much. I used to play acoustic guitar, not as well as Danny Muggs, but anyways, so I've developed this strategy, and like my brain is giant now, like where I can imagine guitar, I can imagine guitar solos, I can imagine horns, I can imagine strings. So it's really, I go, when I sit down to write a song on my bass, I'm approaching it thinking of all the extra things I want. And it's kind of a drag being in Dude, because most of the time I have the whole song done in my head, and I'm like, all right, you're going to do this, and it's like, all right, but it is what it is, I guess.
Now, this is a weird question, but were you right-handed prior to your...
I was.
So you had to relearn... That's difficult.
Well, you'd be surprised what you can do when you have to do it. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, buddy, it's just you and me. Let's get to know each other.
Yeah. I mean, because every once in a while I'm like, I'm gonna try and write with my left hand, and it's like, oh my god.
Well,
so it probably
yeah,
got
like
better.
The U of M, J.J. Watts, the U of M quarterback, said he uses his other hand to brush his teeth. And I try to do that every now and then.
Because he's trying to save his throwing hand?
No, to
No,
coordination.
just
Oh.
coordination, and it's what do they call it? Muscle confusion. It's really good for the brain to get out of it. It's like a way of getting out of your comfort zone, and learning something new is always like the brain is so plastic. If you allow it and you work towards these things, so
It's crazy how much stuff fits in your brain. I think about that all the time. It's like all the
You
stuff
can
we know.
reprogram your brain.
absolutely, I'm a big advocate.
And I want to just say, because I tell people who think negatively that they can change their attitude to a more positive attitude if they work towards it.
Yes, being happy is a decision, and you can get on top of it real quick if you want to. But
It's hard work.
yeah, and sometimes it doesn't come easy. But if it came easy, would it be worth it? Sometimes I'm old school. I work out. I don't take a pill to get in shape. I work out, blood, sweat, and tears, and that there's some grace in that.
Yeah, doing it the right way, the healthy way, with everything in life.
Yeah, I try to.
I try to.
Are you in any way a different person after the stroke than you were before?
I don't think so. I've always had this, this kind of Luke Skywalker, Rocky Balboa mentality of I was always the smaller kid in high school, and I can do anything I put my mind to. And the stroke just gave me an excuse to actually, do that. I had to reinvent myself, and I wasn't sure if I'd ever play music again. And I remember a guy by the name of Matt Smith from Outrageous Cherry.
I know of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant musician, songwriter. He's prolific, probably the best in Detroit that we've ever seen. He's that good. I was at a concert, a Wilco concert, as a matter of fact, at Hill Auditorium in, I think, 2011. And Jeff Tweedy points to the crowd, maybe 15 rows back in the spotlight, and it's, listen to this guy, and it was Matt Smith.
Oh, wow.
And I love Matt Smith. I have all of his records. He inspires me. That's coming from Jeff Tweedy.
That's cool, because
So
he's pretty popular.
yeah, so
Jeff is.
after I survived my stroke, and I was on a cane, and I was getting around. I was very fragile back then. It was maybe 6 months after my stroke. But I wanted to show my friends in rock scene that, I'm broken, but my spirit's still strong. So I was getting around, and I just enjoy music so much, right? So we were at the Magic Stick downtown, and I got into the circle, and Matt Smith says, "Have you ever considered playing the bass on a keyboard like Ray Manzarek style?" Never occurred to me. I thought my career was over because, my hand wasn't, coming back, and maybe it was going to come back in the future, but it was 6 months after, and so I just tucked that away, and I thought, okay, maybe he's onto something, and holy shit, he saved my life, because that gave me some purpose to, and something to shoot for. So I was doing some alternative therapy in 2003 in January in California. And by that time, Danny Muggs was on tour with the Paybacks. And I remember calling Danny and saying, I want to try this out, and Danny said, go for it. And the rest is history. And
There's probably things you can do that you can't do with a standard bass, like just more notes and I don't know.
well, my wife always says I do more with one hand than most men do with two. So,
Woo!
yeah.
You tell.
So tell us more about Autobiography. What kind of...
You said it right.
I know. I'm losing my voice up. It's written in a unique style. So explain to us what you're doing.
Okay, so it's an autobiography, memoirs, and I started off with a prologue, and I kind of suggest to the readers how I would like you to read this. So I italicize words that I encourage you to look up in the back of the book. I created a glossary because it's so Detroit-centric. There's so many bands that inspired me, and it's so I had to do that. And so it's a unique way of writing, and it's kind of like having a conversation like we're having now. When you read it, sometimes I'm talking directly to you or to myself, and I had to look this up because I break the fourth wall. And like in movies, they call it breaking the fourth wall, but I talk to you directly in the book, and it's called an authorial intrusion.
Oh.
I had to look it up, and so I defined it.
Oui.
Yeah, so it's a fun read. There's some heavy subject matter. Me almost dying in the hospital. I've lived an extraordinary life. For instance, I had to put this in because I grew up with my dad always telling me about the story. A biplane crashed in our backyard when I was a kid, and I was in the backyard with my brother Frank and my dad, and we all survived. And it was mitigating circumstances that we survived. So
did it hit you? Like, did you get hurt?
no, it didn't hit. The plane nosedived into the garage, and the debris came out, and there's this huge fireball. And I was behind a sand pile, which saved my life. And my dad, who was an undercover cop at the time, and threw my brother and himself in between this pool that he was laying bricks in between the house. So. The dog died, all four people in the plane died. Poor son of a bitch cutting his back lawn in the alley, got engulfed by a fireball. He died. It was just tragic.
Jeez Louise.
So, yeah, but I looked, when I was going to Oakland University when I was 17, when I graduated early, so I was in college at 17. I just had to look it up on microfiche, and there it was. And so I printed it out, and I pass it around to all the family members, and I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, you weren't bullshitting." Yeah.
What city was that?
Oh,
Like,
I
where
saw
did you
grew up
grow
near Detroit City Airport.
Yes, I grew up
that.
4 houses away from the Detroit City Airport of O'Connor.
So the plane was probably going to land there?
Yeah, and the
missed?
plane was coming in from Toronto, and after reading the article by, I think his name was Pat Murphy from the Detroit News. He interviewed a friend who said the pilot was kind of hinky about landing in an urban area. He was used to like wide, rural areas where you can have vast swatches of
That's no excuse.
land.
So
Yeah.
he really landed in an urban area. I mean, I'm
Oh
not trying
man,
to be funny, but
poor guy. But that's in the book, and
So you have your own website, tonymugs.com, and that's where people can order this?
yep. And I had to create a website just to who the hell is Tony Muggs. So tonymugs.com. You can read more about my book, and you can order it from Amazon, or I would prefer you contact me by email. TonyMuggs@gmail.com and order directly from me, and that way I can sign it for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
And I get a little bit more cheese than
yep, don't give it to Amazon.
Amazon. It's the cost of doing business, but they keep everything essentially. So order it from me, and I could get a little bit more cheese.
And then what is this album? Is this the
This is the Autobiography. The album
An
is
album.
paired with a book, and I released them. I staggered the release, so I released the book first in December of 2022, and then in April of 2023, I released this. And I tried to tie in the album with the book, and so far as chapter titles. The first track of the album is called Big Star, and I started off with a typewriter, so I'm kind of nodding to me writing the book. There is a bonus poster in there, 11 by 17 poster, and there's also a bonus 7-inch A-side, B-side.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I just wanted to go all out because
Yep.
I knew like the book's gorgeous, so I had to make the album gorgeous, and it's a gatefold. And I had a lot of talented people I worked with create this. Jason Seaman, one of my great friends, he died April 1st of last year from a stroke. He was at the same hospital that I was, and it was just kind of kind of a bummer. He was only 50 years old.
Yeah.
And so he
too
put
young.
that together, as well as all the other Muggs albums. And my other friend Brad Genza was responsible for the artwork, the poster artwork. So a lot of good people. I'm just
I was wondering.
I'm just so lucky
is that
to.
you on the cover?
No,
Yeah,
that
who
was
are those kids?
Yeah, that's Photoshop from Lightbright. And so
Oh,
yeah,
that's why it looks familiar.
yeah. And then Jason was like, "How about we put like a reel-to-reel track instead of the Lightbright?" And I said, "That's perfect." So we started there, and then we just built it around. But the cover, it's I'm just such a kid at heart,
I love it.
I know. I
Very
think
retro.
everybody secretly is. Who wants to be an adult? It's kind of too much.
never growing old.
responsibility. Way too much responsibility. So, do you have any concerts lined up or
Oh yeah.
book readings?
Yep.
Have you done any?
Oh, good one.
Well, shoot, I have so many concerts coming up. I play bass with this band called the Hourlies. It's blues rock, just like the Muggs. Bunch of great guys. We're coming out with a new album called "Live with Yourself or Die Trying."
I like that name.
So we have a lot of concerts and a lot of things that we want to pay for this year, like vinyl and CDs. So we're booking ourselves a lot. Most recently, the Hourlies, you can see us at Sabby's Lounge on the east side in St. Clair Shores on the 17th. Eastside is live, plays there a lot. And
I
then,
love those guys so much.
yeah, Joe Leone, I love him.
Those guys.
Brian, all of them.
Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky. And then on the 18th, we are playing, the Hourlies are playing at Old Miami.
So is like all your gigs
okay.
listed on your website?
No, of course
When is
not.
that? The 18th of what?
That'd be too easy.
The 18th of what? Your old
Yeah.
Miami?
Old Miami, the Hourlies, the May 18th. It's a Saturday.
Just put all your band's projects on your website too.
Yeah, that would be a smart move. I'm just like I lean on Instagram a lot, so I always post what shows are coming up. So on the 19th at Polka Dot, Acoustic Dude is playing with Matt Smith. Brings a full circle. He just agreed to play with us, me and Kristen. So I'm not sure if he's going to go on first or not, but it's at 8 o'clock. So all my songs are melodic, and it's like me around a campfire.
Do you sing?
Yeah, I'm the singer. I'm a lead singer of Dude. And then, the Hourlies, Chris Tomko is this wonderful lead singer. Lead guitar player is Ben Kay is the other lead guitar player, and Matt Maniaci is the drummer. And then, with the Muggs, it's me and Danny Muggs. Danny's the lead singer and the guitar player, the Wizard. And Todd Glass is the drummer. And, down the rabbit hole we go,
So many good musicians in this town.
I'm so lucky to have played with the best drummers and the best guitar players. I don't know what I'm doing right, but I guess I'm doing something right.
I've played with a lot of really good drummers. Right now, my drummer's Daryl Pierce. Do you know Daryl?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just so lucky. And I
Yep.
got Dave Urasek coming on a gig with me. He's a great bass player. And there's just so many good... Detroit is like the best music town.
Breeding
I don't care
ground,
what
yep.
anybody says.
Yeah, what did you think of the draft? Were you downtown?
Yes. Well, the Muggs actually played the draft
What was that like?
on Thursday. The first... it was awesome.
Where was your stage?
Right behind Cliff Bells.
Nice.
So we were kind of like on the perimeter.
Games.
Okay, yeah. We played from 2 to 4, and we just whipped out an hour and a half concert. Scott the Gator Anderson was there. He's a fan of ours for years now. He's so kind to talk about us on air. And I heard my car radio's out right now, so I can't listen to the ticket like I want to. But I heard somebody said, "Oh, he mentioned the Mugs the day after," So
That's cool.
Oh, it's just so extraordinary. And we played great, but downtown was just bustling, and we got a chance to walk around. We got there, we loaded in at noon, so we had 2 hours to kind of screw around.
God, what was that like, loading in down at that?
It was really convenient. They had an alley for us, so it was fine.
Yeah, somehow these big productions figure it out. You think, oh my God.
I don't know.
how you
Detroit's
get-
figuring it out. Things are happening. They're the police and it's working. That whole
Yep.
social district downtown is working.
Well,
Oh.
and just as they clean up the draft, it's going to be the Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In
All
Michigan
my
Central.
life, I've been going down and getting in trouble in downtown Detroit since I was 19, and I thought that before my stroke even, I was working at a scrapyard, my family-owned scrapyard, and the Wonder Bread building got converted into Motor City Casino, and all these things were happening. And then 2006, it was like, wow, we're hosting the Super Bowl, and then Kwame, kind of screwed everything up, and it's kind of like, okay, now it seems for real. There's so much money behind downtown. I don't think it can fail now. So fingers crossed. Yeah, I've just been waiting for my city to come back my whole life, and here it is.
And your football team.
Mm-hmm.
I used to gig downtown
Yep.
in the 80s, and it was scary, man. I got my stuff ripped off, and
You ever play the Soup Kitchen?
I've not
On
played
the
this.
east
I was
side?
more rock. I was
Okay.
with Vertical Pillows
Yeah,
and
that-
Motored Office
You guys
and
played
stuff like that.
played the Soup Kitchen?
I love that place.
Well, I was in a band with Danny Muggs called the Detroit Underground Blues Band, and we got to play the Soup Kitchen.
I love that. I used to go there for the soup. Like, I would just
I
go
was
to
there
eat.
for blues shows. I just remember.
Yeah, I
blues.
cut my
Go
teeth
for the
with the blues, and I was always Danny and I were always in a blues band, and we were always in a rock band. And our first original bands were we're called Fat Belly Brown, and we were just like 90 hacks, just trying to be Stone Temple Pilots. But Danny, like from the get, he was just this elegant soloist.
It's the best.
Oh my God! And it started with the blues. So we were at the same time we were in this band called Vincent and the Days, and we just learned every standard that you needed to know to fill out 3 sets. So.
Well, we learned a lot about you, and if anybody wants to learn more, get that book at TonyMuggs.com
Yes, please.
and buy it from
You're
him.
such a huge inspiration.
Well, thank you.
I just met you today, but I'm so proud of you, and you inspire me. So thank
I know.
you.
Patty's going to start a band now.
I
Yeah.
know, but Paula won't be in it.
Don't make me
Uh-oh.
feel
Well, congratulations to you and anyone interested, and check out TonyMuggs.com. And thanks for watching. That's another episode of the Chatty Patty
Paula Walla
Talk Show.
Hello, hello, hello. It's the Chatty Patty Paula Walla Talk Show. Hello, hello, hello. It's the Chatty Patty Paula Walla Talk
We
Show.
will talk about the things that mean so much to you, like going to a restaurant or hanging at the zoo. Clothes and sports and funny news, crafts and travel too. Nothing ever scripted, so